ネットの情報はソースが深くて
30から40
後ろから相手の袖をまくる。説明しろ。寝やがったこの女。
Two young scientists fell in love with each other, but they don't have any idea about love and emotions, so they try to prove their situation with the help of science. Hello and welcome back to our channel iSky. Today we are going to do a recap of the anime series called Science Fell in Love So I Tried to Prove It. Episode 1. The episode opens up and we are told that everything in the universe is made up of numbers, according to Pythagoras. Behind everything we will find numbers, and everything in the universe abides by the number, and therefore, through numbers and calculations, everything in the universe can be understood and explained. And by using this discovery, scientists have mathematically proven many things. But there are a lot of things that are still not proven, and this story is about one of them. Then we meet. Shinya Yukimura and Ayami Himuro are brilliant students at Saitama University. Shinya is a genius and a graduate student of Saitama University. His fellow classmate Ayam is also a prodigy. One day Ayami Himura suddenly confesses to Shinya Yukimura that she is in love with him. But Shinya Yukimura is unsure how to respond to her feelings, and he asks her how she defined love. While they are both working on their research, Ayam presents scientific evidence to demonstrate her feelings for him, including data such as the time she has spent with him at university, and the number of minutes she spends staring at him and her increase in heart rate. Their conclusion is that love is based on a mathematical formula. Shinya ponders over Ayam's presentation and tells her that he previously had a dream about her. Shinya would like to test Ayam's love hypothesis, while fellow student Kanade arrives and watches them talk nonsense. Kane Kadohana worries they've gone mad as they begin replicating a romantic manga scene in which Yukimura traps Ayami Himura against the wall, while tracking her heart rate, the class of which he determined that physical closeness has the most extreme result, so they try other actions from romance manga to collect further data. But Yukimura worries that they are confusing love for soak type of illness. And to be sure, they repeat their experiment 100 times, but soon they find out the move becomes less effective over time. Meanwhile, Ayami Himuro compares Yukimura's trap move into a sumo palm thrust, which is not romantic. Whereas, Kodohana insists love is based on emotions, and she even presents a story of her falling in love with her high school teacher as evidence. But her moment is spoiled when Yukimura breaks the story down into a mathematical formula and demands details of her romantic history. Ayami Himura hits Yukimura as a mean of punishment for being too demanding, so he repeats the trapped move once more. This time he is insisting that he will mathematically prove that love exists, causing Ayami Himura's heart rate to rise again. Episode 2. Kanade is having a great time with her friend. Kanade's friend asks her that she liked his research group, isn't she? Kanade says yes and asks the reason for her asking this question. Her friend says she is lucky her group must have a lot of females in it. Kanade tells her that there are about half of women. Her friend tells her that her group is mostly made up men with black hair and glasses. Kanade explains to her friend that her situation was the same. When she comes back to her research department, she explains that she, Shinya, and Ayam are part of the Information Sciences department at Saitama University who use math to study social and natural sciences. Unfortunately, their research advisor Ina never does research and plays games all day. The graduate students want to publish research to help the world. And now it's Yukimura's turn to have his heart rate measured, but when Shinya needs to collect his heart rate data for an experiment, he runs away. He tries to flee because he doesn't want this embarrassing data to be collected, but they soon catch him, so Kodohama and Himuro tie him up. They make him stroke Ayami's hair, and after stroking Ayami's hair, Yukimura's heart rate rises significantly. But when Ina suggests repeating the test with someone other than Ayami Himuro, and after the test, when they see his heart rate also rises for Kazunoha and Ina, Ayami Himuro thinks he's a pervert and makes a disgusting face. But when Yukimura explains that his heart rate rises because women make him nervous, but still Ayami Himuro gets mad at him.
ちょっとだけ
失礼します。
だって不純な目的じゃない。
そんなに触れるな。チンパンジー。行くぞ。
Later, Kanade is trying to find a topic for her thesis when she runs into Shinya and Ayam trying another love experiment. They are trying to see if love will make food taste better, and Kanade joins the experiment. After they discuss complicated testing methods, Kanade suggests they conduct a blind taste test instead, with Ayam cooking a meal with and without love to see which one tastes better. But Ayam biases the experiment by writing a heart on one of the plates. But no conclusions are reached because everybody becomes too embarrassed, so Kanade goes back to figuring out her thesis. Shinya then arrives with food for her, revealing that he and Ayam will also cooking for her so she doesn't forget to eat while doing research. Shinya and Ayam want to conduct another experiment, but they find their romantic knowledge and experience lacking. Episode 3. Ayam and Yukimura are discussing their plan, and Yakamura says that they should take a moment to organize their current circle girlfriend every night. She again panics because she held Yukimura once during an experiment. After hearing about Kasuke's experience, I.M. becomes worried that she is lagging behind in romance. And when Kasuke says that he spends lots of money on Eika, she feels that she will never reach his level. But when Ina, who is Kasuke's childhood friend, reveals that Kasuke's girlfriend is actually a character from a dating simulator that he has spent a lot of money on, including a body pillow he sleeps with every night, Shinya comes up with a hypothesis about love based on romantic preferences that could include 2D characters. When based on Kasuke's data, Himuro concludes that she might not love Yukimura. Yukimura panics and retracts his earlier conclusion. He even deems Kasuke to be too weird to gather normal data from. Then Kanade and I.M. talk together, and I.M. reveals that as a child she was bullied by others for her gloomy personality, and she met a young bullied boy who told her not to feel bothered by their bullies and focus on the future. The boy influenced I.M. to improve people's perception of her, and she grew up to be a dignified and cool person. Kanade quickly determines that the boy must have been Shinya, but neither Shinya nor I.M. recognize themselves from their childhoods. The two later want to experiment with a date. They ask Kanade about a previous date she had gone on, and they ask Kasuke about a 2D date he went on. They soon end up on deciding to visit an amusement park, so they immediately plan the most efficient route to experience the 22 most romantic moments of a date at an amusement park, following which Konoha forces Yukimura to officially ask I.M. Himuro on a date, which makes her extremely happy when he does. Episode 4. A boy is waiting for his girlfriend to arrive, and when she does, she apologizes for being late, but the boy tells her that it's fine and that he just got here. Then he compliments her by saying she is looking lovely. The girl thanks her and says that she is wearing a new dress. After that, they both leave to enjoy their date. Soon, Shinya and I.M. arrive at the amusement park with their clipboards and their lab coats. Yukimura says to I.M. that she is 0.36 seconds late, and I.M. replies by saying that just his conclusion. Their meeting time was not fixed beforehand. Then she takes out her plan for today's date, and they were about to follow it. But just before they can start the experiment, Kanade and Kasuke arrive to force them to dress normally. Kanade takes them to a shopping mall to buy casual clothes. Meanwhile, Shinya reveals that he and I.M. are wearing multiple sensors on their bodies to track physiological data such as heart rate for the experiment. Because Ina has suggested that they should be counting when they feel happy, uncertain, scared, and even when they want to snuggle. Meanwhile, Kanade has trouble keeping I.M. Himuro and Yukimura focused on the date instead of collecting data. And soon, Kanade finds that even when buying clothes, both Shinya and I.M. debate on formulas to find the best way to purchase clothes and maximize value. It is also revealed that Ina is childhood friends with Kasuke and forced him to go watch the date to keep the two students out of trouble. Shinya and I.M. have trouble on their date because Shinya has trouble with hand-holding. And while I.M. is walking to leave, a stranger sees her and tries to ask her out on a date. I.M. tries to reject him with a mathematical presentation, but he becomes confused. Shinya then arrives and takes I.M.'s hand. And when confronted, presents scientific data proving that the man does not love her. Yukimura's emotional outburst embarrasses him. But meanwhile, I.M. Himuro finds it extremely attractive, and they both end up leaving while holding hands. Shinya and I.M. then leave to go to the amusement park, while Kanade and Kasuke record the incident. At the amusement park, Kanade and Kasuke watch as Shinya and I.M. spend most of the time discussing the physics of the rides, and both of them have changed back into their lab coats. Finally, after numerous rides, Shinya decides to ignore the experiment plan and he gives I.M. a gift of earrings instead. And the two decide they should conduct another experiment date in the future. And that's all for today, guys. If you liked the recap and want more summaries like this, consider subscribing to our channel.